block you first. Maybe he hasn't seen it yet. No. This man blocked me. What is up, you guys? Good morning. It is a brand new day. If you don't know me already, my name is Kaya and I do have my own business. I'm gonna link that here for my as well as my personal account, so be sure to go follow me for that. Basically, this channel I started a little bit ago to discuss all of the things that I'm doing and kind of finding out about myself after a 4-year relationship ending. So if you are interested in following along, be sure to subscribe so I can share just my overall new journey with you. Be sure to like this video if you want to see more of this type of video. It's going to be a little bit different today. I am going to be shopping today. I need to go get some Christmas stuff. It is that time of the month. I feel like I just did a video and it was that time of the month not too long ago. I'm shaking because I haven't eaten today, so I need to go get some coffee. I might pick up something to eat, and then I want to show you guys the outfit for the day because it is a little bit different for me. It's a little bit more masculine, but I feel like I did make it a little bit more feminine with my top underneath, the jeans. They're a little more form-fitting up towards the top and then loose at the bottom, so hopefully I did it right. But this is something that I feel comfortable in, so yeah, I want to show you guys that real quick. All right, don't mind the stuff in the background. I was supposed to go to Dallas, but I have a test that I need to study for, and then on top of that, it's that time of the month. I'm just really not feeling very good. I have a bunch of stuff that I have to do, so I ended up staying home this weekend. But I figured I called off of work already today, so I'm just gonna go ahead. I popped a nail off. I slammed it in a car door. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible because I know some of you were saying 32 minutes, 40 minutes, that's a long video. But yeah, so let's just dive into it. I got this flannel that I got at Marshall's I think last weekend. These AE jeans, these clogs, but these are from Cushionaire. They're not from Birkenstock, but honestly, who's really gonna be able to tell? Like, who's gonna notice? Nobody. Nobody's gonna say anything to me. Got my hair up in a claw clip and this little New York top that I got from H&M. But yeah, this is the fit. Cute little shopping outfit. I need to clean this mirror off like ASAP. But I'm just gonna go ahead and go to Dutch Bros and get my coffee. So I'll take you for that. It is such a beautiful day. I just want to make note of that. I'm obsessed. This fall weather, I know it's still kind of hot for Texas, but honestly, the weather itself in the fall time is like perfect for me. I like that it's not too cold, not too hot. The only thing is like the difference in the days. I will say it's kind of frustrating that you have 1 minute, like 1 hour of the day it's super cold, and then the next hour of the day it's for ricket freezing, or did I say that wrong? 1 hour of the day cold and then 1 hour of the day hot. So that's frustrating. No way! I heard that if you put it on photo, did it work? Hold on. If you put it on photo and you slide it, like you hold the button and you slide it, it'll let you play music. It lets you play music while you film. You guys are gonna hear me jam out! I am in such a good mood today. I really needed this day off, you guys. I have been studying like crazy. Like, I had to start a new job, right? Not technically a new job, but it had to be a job like that I used to work in order for me to move to Texas. So the transition has been so painful for me because I've had to relearn things that I used to know and still get good quality reports on it. And then at the same time, oh, don't you dare. Okay. And then at the same time, I've been studying to get my real estate license because that's really what I want to do. Like, I am so passionate about talking to other people, and obviously with my brand, like, I love helping people. So it's like, why not? Why not find people their forever homes in the best way that I can, using my beliefs? I mean, as a Christian, I'm like, I try to be the best that I possibly can be towards people, you know what I mean? Like, if I've been mean to you, I'm sorry. I naturally have resting face, you know? But honestly, like, I feel like I have changed so much as a person and developed so much and just allowed Christ to take over my life in so many ways that, like, I want to be so much bigger than what I am, and so much better than who I am now. So I feel like the way that I can do that is by helping people find their forever homes and guiding them through that. Let's talk about some updates. I was telling people on my story not too long ago that I was talking to this guy, and it obviously wasn't really going anywhere. He asked me out on a date on social media, and I was like, you know what? I'm hurting bad. But so I kind of tried to bypass the question, but he was persistent. So I was like, you know what? All right, what do you want to do? And he was saying that he was going to pick me up to, like, go out to an arcade or something. So I was like, all right, but believe me, I will not go out with a man without being able to stalk who they are first. I investigate people for a living, so you better believe I know where your mom lives. No, I don't, and all of my work friends, I do not use my work stuff for personal stuff, just to make that very clear, because I can get in trouble for that. I'm just naturally FBI, and me and my good friend Jenna, we used to send each other our profiles for, like, guys and stuff. What is up with big trucks cutting me off? What's happening? But so anyway, she used to send me, like, profiles for men, and I would do some FBI work and she was freaking good too, don't get me wrong, but I used to go through and I would figure out everything about those men just by clicking on links that they're associated with, looking at their profiles, seeing who they talk to, X, Y, and Z, baby. We went through everything. You better believe, I am not going to go out on a date without being able to stalk you first. I need to know if you are real, for one. Two, if you're reliable, like you're not a freaking psychopath that's going to kidnap and kill me. And, which you never really know, because there are people out there that look like normal people and end up being, you know, did I miss my exit? No, I didn't. Next one. So anyways, I asked him for his social media because I was like, I need to be able to stalk, sir. And the way I said it was, hey, I'm not really good at responding on here. I need to know, can I just, like, message you on social media? What's your Instagram? I was real smooth with it, okay? I did not make it seem like I was gonna stalk him, nothing like that. I just was like, I am gonna get bad at, like, messaging here pretty soon because I'm out with my family, so I'm gonna get bad at messaging. Can I have your Instagram? Tell me why. I was like, okay, you know, maybe he hasn't seen it yet, he needs to take time to respond, he's busy, it's late. No. This man blocked me. Okay, and I posted like basically a survey on what my friends thought on, like, this close friends section that I have in Instagram. I sent it out and I was like, what do you guys think? Does he have a girlfriend? Is he a catfish? Does he just not like girls who ask for social media? Do they think it's for followers? I don't know. I have no idea. And a lot of my friends were saying, oh no, girl, he's either a catfish or he has a girlfriend. So that's a little update on my dating life for the most part. Slim to none. I have been really struggling with missing Julian. I don't know, it's just, it doesn't seem like it's getting any easier. If I'm being fully transparent, And I know it's kind of soon to start dating anyways. It's been about 3.5 months. Maybe not to some people, I don't know. I was with him for 4 years. And I don't talk to men right now to date, to be completely honest. I'm just looking for casual conversation. Hold on, it's my time to order. I came at like perfect timing because everybody and their brother all of a sudden wanted Dutch Bros. Dang, I feel like I'm driving all the way up past the mall at this point. Okay, let's park here. I feel like this is a good spot to start. Alright, so we got the Dutch Bros and we just made it to the mall. So we're gonna see what we can find. I'm doing a little bit of Christmas shopping. I think, actually, I don't even know if I should post this. I'm not gonna show some of the things that I got for my family members because obviously we still have a good like 2 months until it's Christmas time, so let's not do that. Looking like a glazed donut. Oh my God. I am toast. It was cold this morning and now it's hot and I'm sweaty. So shopping was a success. Might I say that? Huge success. I am so happy with all the things that I found. I found so many things for my brother. The good news is people won't think that I got him too many things because it actually was way cheaper than I thought. Today, for some reason, there are huge sales. Like I was getting things buy one, get one half off, buy one, get one free. So, but the good news is his, that's where I was going with this. His birthday is literally 3 days after Christmas. So, yeah, that worked out perfectly. Yeah, I'm so excited. I can't express too much because I'm afraid he's gonna watch this or my parents will watch it in the big screen and he'll know exactly what I got him. My makeup's a mess right now. I was sweating my booty cheeks off. I had so many bags. I'm wearing a flannel. This is what I was talking about earlier with the Texas weather. Killer. I think I'm just gonna head home because I need to start studying. And we might have some real talk, you know what I mean? I didn't get to film while I was in there because I kept walking into places and I was like, Kaya, do not buy anything for yourself. You need to save, but we need to get stuff for family members. I couldn't find anything really for anybody else. So I think what I'm gonna do is split the Christmas shopping up per person every pay period. I did exceptionally well for all the stuff that I got for my brother. So I think that's gonna be a huge win for me, but let's go ahead and let's get some food. All right, so we're gonna have a little bit of a change of scenery because, I don't know, I need to sit outside a little bit more. I think I need some fresh oxygen, you know what I mean? It may be a little loud just because my family's house is like right next to this like really busy road. And I noticed a lot of like big trucks are driving by today. It looks like they got a project up the road, so it might be a little loud, but I'll try to limit that in the video when I start editing, so. But I really just wanted to go over some of the questions that I didn't get to go over last time that I was doing the Q&A video. And one of the questions, I'm gonna see what that sounds like, hold on. All right, it's kind of loud, it's a little loud. I may go inside in a little bit just because of how loud it is. But one of the questions that I was asked was how, at what point did I realize that I needed to change myself and my body? Like what was the breaking point and how I basically went through that. So I kind of went over this in one of my business videos or YouTubes that I did, but since it hasn't been talked about on this channel, I'm just gonna go over it again because I can actually talk about it a little bit more in depth and kind of give you guys the realistic side of it. There's people working right here too. Outside may not be good for today. I'm sad. I may even be able to go on a walk. I don't know. It may be a good walking day. Alright, you win some and you lose some, right? So outside was not working for me. I just moved inside. I'm gonna lay in bed. It's more comfortable in here anyways. But so what I was talking about was basically the time frame that I had acknowledged I was really losing myself and finding that motivation to kind of get back into that healthy lifestyle and change my ways. We'll just start with the beginning. I obviously was in that 4-year relationship and he deployed a lot. We'll just jump to the basics. So he was deployed a lot. I ended up being home alone a lot of the time. I worked in office and I was actually one of the first people to be sent home during the pandemic. So obviously over time I was gaining weight at the beginning of our relationship just because I was so attached to him that I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to like spend too much time away from him. I don't know if anybody else relates to that, but I have like really bad attachment issues. And sometimes when I'm really interested in somebody, it takes a lot for me to leave them. I'm very clingy. Like, I've acknowledged that I'm a very clingy person, and I was starting to fix that at the end of our relationship. I just didn't want to be away from him, so I would sacrifice my own self-care and self-time, I guess, self-care time to literally be at his every beckoning call. Even if he used to tell me too, he would be like, can you like not do that, go to the gym, go do something, like do something with your life outside of me. And I didn't want to. I was like, no, I'm fine, like I'm happy, this makes me happy. It did, don't get me wrong, it made me very happy to be with him all the time, but it was very unhealthy for me because I started to gain weight. I lost interest in all my hobbies. I didn't make any friends. I didn't have any friends outside of like work friends. It just became a very isolated time because I was so invested in him. I was sent home. I was the first one of, like, I think there was like 10 people at this time that were being sent home from the pandemic. My office, let alone my company, had never sent anybody home before to work from home permanently. So it was a huge transition, and they were like, hey, we need you to kind of test this out for us and see if it's something that could be done at home. So I was like, sure. And they were like, okay, well, you're gonna be back in like a week. So leave all your stuff here, that's fine. Just take some of the essentials that you'll need, like your resources, and we'll see you back in a week. Cool, whatever. Yeah, work from home, PJs every day, absolutely, count me in. Little did I know I would never be returning. I still to this day, couple years later, have not returned to that office. He was deployed, so obviously the pandemic held me back from being able to see any kind of friends. I had no family where I was at. I was actually living in Virginia Beach. My family lived in Texas. My grandparents lived in Fredericksburg, so that was a couple hours away. So I literally had nobody. I was isolated by myself. I spiraled into a very deep, dark depression. I was scared because obviously everybody was scared during the pandemic. Like, everybody was nervous about what the illness was going to do, about their family members. I obviously couldn't see my family members. My family members were actually one of the first to announce that they had gotten COVID. So that was terrifying. I didn't have access to a gym, so a lot of people were like, oh, just do at-home workouts. But when you get up, work all day long on the computer in your room, and then you have nobody to talk to. At that time too, I was cross-trained into our customer service department. I was answering phone calls and doing my normal job at the same time. That was very, very difficult for me because it was so hard to hear all the pain and stuff that people were going through all day long, with money and stuff. And then it was just very psychologically draining. I can't even explain it. I was so overwhelmed with everything that was going on. I did not take care of myself at all. And it's funny because a lot of people think, oh, if you eat a lot of food, you gain weight. I was in this weird phase of forgetting to eat because I was so depressed and so overwhelmed that I actually was eating way less, but eating awful foods. I can't even explain it. I was just eating really, really crappy and not enough. So I think it was my body just like absorbing all the fats, the sugars, the nutrients that it had in it and storing it away because it didn't know if it was gonna eat again, if that makes sense. So I just got very unhealthy, like insanely unhealthy. And that caused me to spiral even more because, you know, your foods and what you intake can also impact, like your gut health has a lot to do with your mental and psychological health and emotional health, whatever. So I think I spiraled even more because of that. Like I was just eating really, really crappy and I was alone. I was scared. I was going through financial hardship. And so it was just like this really awful downhill spiral. I'll jump forward. So then I started to gain a lot of weight. Julian came home from deployment and he literally, he was so loving towards me that I feel like this is why I was even more obsessed with him, but he was so kind and kind-hearted towards me that, and I could tell he genuinely loved me for me. He never said anything about my weight ever. He never made me feel like I was ugly, never made me feel like I was fat, never made me feel like he had noticed that I was changing. When he saw me, he just, it was as if everything was the same as when he left. So he was very loving, and he never brought up anything about my appearance. He would just give me pointers if I asked for it. He always was just very supportive, and like if I wanted to work out, he would support that. If I didn't want to work out, whatever, you know. He was just very loving and supportive of me, but it was also a negative because he, and I don't put this on him at all, like it's not his job to make sure that I'm accountable for my own body, but sometimes I'm like, dang, like I wish like, even though it would have hurt, I wish he would have mentioned something to me because we were best friends. And I feel like he could talk, I would have been offended, obviously, like that, it would have hurt. I don't know. Sometimes I wish something would have kind of stuck out to me that made me change a lot sooner, but it didn't. It just didn't work out that way because he was just so kind-hearted and loved me for me that he never made me feel like something needed to change about myself. But I eventually stopped wanting to take photos. I didn't want anybody to see my body. I didn't feel comfortable wearing certain things. I felt uncomfortable going out in public at certain times, and that's not me. I love going out in public. I love going places, exploring, going to the beach and stuff like that, but sometimes I would just be like, I don't want to go because I literally feel so disgusting and so disgusted with myself that it bums my whole mood. I get bitter, and my emotional roller coaster at that time was awful too. So I was starting to stay inside more. I didn't want to take photos. I would catch women staring at me and looking at Julian like he is with her, because obviously Julian is very fit and he's good looking, he's muscular. He's a very dedicated and determined person. He looks great all the time. And me, on the other hand, I was overweight, and so I would literally have nightmares of me walking with him, but I was a whale, and he sounds so stupid now, but I'm not. I was a whale in my dream, and he was like this fit, buff, muscular person, and everybody was like, yo, why is he with that whale? I would literally have dreams about that, and it's not funny at all, but it is at the same time because I could still envision, like I could still see myself as a whale. But it was like awful. It was all I thought about. It was literally, I was so centered and focused on the fact that I was so uncomfortable with myself and my body and my image that I assumed what other people thought about me. It was bad. It was really bad. It was so emotionally draining. And I made my looks 100% of my day. Like, I don't know. I was so centered and focused on how I appeared to other people that it became too draining. So I specifically remember like feeling that way, feeling disgusted with myself, trying to work up the courage to go back to the gym and work out in front of people. I knew I didn't look good in a lot of my fitness outfits. I even tried eating better. That didn't work out for me. because I was in too deep. So, and then at certain points, Julian, he was going through a bulking phase too. And so he was eating like garbage, like trash, the worst I'd ever seen him eat. And that man could not get fat if he wanted to. That's all I'm saying. But so he was going through a bulking phase, and I started to eat the same things as him, and as if I were bulking too, but I wasn't. You know, I was trying to lose weight. He's over there trying to bulk. And so it just was not going very well for us. I was gaining 2 times the weight. I was getting heavy. A lot of my clothes weren't fitting anymore, and I was getting frustrated with that because I remembered the clothes that I would try on used to be smaller clothing. I mean, it used to be bigger clothing when I was smaller, and now it was way too small. So that terrified me. I went to the doctor, stepped on the scale, and this was my breaking point. I stepped on the scale right before Julian was about to deploy for his 3rd time, I think it was. And the guy that was weighing me, he said that I weighed over, I can't remember the exact number, I just know it was close to 200, it was over 210 pounds. I used to weigh, when I first started dating Julian, I weighed 145 pounds. That is a drastic change. And I think that was 2 years into our relationship. I was so blown away. I was like, no, that can't be right. And so I asked to weigh myself again because that was like a shock for me. I was sick to my stomach. And he said, yeah, over 210. I can't remember the exact number. I just remember it was 210, over 210. I'm 5'7". I was shocked. So I think that was like the breaking point for me. And I went home, I cried a lot. I talked about it with Julian, and I was like, I have to do something. Like, I've got to do something. And so he was kind enough to help me with like a lot of workout plans and meal plans, and told me about certain stuff. He educated me a lot. I owe a lot of my fitness improvements to him. Like he helped change my life. That was basically the breaking point for me. And we went to Puerto Rico too, and I saw a lot of the photos of us in Puerto Rico, and I was like, I felt skinny, and it's the oddest thing. Instead of body dysmorphia when it comes to like you being skinny but seeing yourself as a fat person, for some reason I used to have body dysmorphia of me being fat and overweight, thinking that I'm slimmer than I really was. And I would see my photos and I'm like, holy crap, who is that? Like, that's not how I see myself. And that was also an eye-opener for me because I would see the photos of us out in bikinis on the beach, and I'm like, sis, like, what is that? What is going on? I knew that when he was leaving for deployment, that was my opportunity to kind of get myself together, have that huge transition that I wanted. I would be able to dedicate all the time in the world to myself and my own personal growth outside of him or outside of my relationship. I kind of decided the year of 2021 that I was going to take hold of my life and completely transform it in terms of my career, in terms of my hobbies, my friendships, and my relationship with not only Julian but myself as well. So I kind of sat down and I was like, okay, what is it that I want to do? What am I passionate about? I created my business. I was passionate about cosmetics for one. Number two, I was like, okay, fitness has to be my #1 priority going on forward. I have to take care of myself. And the thought that came to mind that really genuinely changed how I thought about fitness and thought about my body was not only one, the fact that your body is literally like a temple, but number two, the fact that this is so cliche, you only live once. You only have this lifetime once. You will never be the same age again. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know. Like, I sat down and thought about it, and I was like, I am literally gonna keep getting older, and I'm just gonna keep making excuses for the fact that I'm tired, and I'm just gonna be even more tired when I get way older. So why not just do it now? Why not just get up? I have a moment. I could take literally 30 minutes of my day to do something that requires me to get active, or I could just lay here on the couch, be lazy, and regret it later and feel disgusted with myself afterwards. So I decided that I was going to take care of my body and give it the best treatment that I could to ensure that I live a long, fruitful life. That was basically the change in my life. And I read on a study that said that for something to become a habit, do it consistently for 21 days. I am dead. I literally cannot. Something does not want me filming this video today. I swear, my phone died, so now I gotta sit on the floor and let it charge while I film. But like I was saying, I read a study stating that it takes 21 days for you to basically build a habit, right? I don't know if you guys have ever been to one, but I went to a retreat for 21 days of prayer. That was the most powerful thing I've ever been to. Literally, the most powerful thing I've ever been to. So it was 21 days consistent of prayer and praying for things that you can't change on your own, and just asking God to come into your life and take over and basically change the things that you can't control. I already knew that you had to be consistent with whatever it was for 21 days or more in order, in order for it to stick or for you to be consistent with it. I decided that I was gonna go to the gym for 21 days and see how that went and kind of go from there. So I initially went, I hated my outfits, I hated everything about it. I was so uncomfortable, I didn't know any workouts, my form was awful. I had absolutely no endurance. I had zero endurance whatsoever. So I was struggling, guys. It took a lot in me just to go. I felt so like out of place. I felt so judged. It was just it was a very nerve-wracking experience, but I did it for 21 days. I knew that I was gonna keep going. And the one thing that I kept telling myself every single time I would go was to keep showing up for yourself. If you were gonna do it for anybody, do it for yourself. Not for how other people look at you, not for your partner, not for the clothing that you're gonna wear. Do it for you. Do it for the fact that you want to take care of yourself, take care of the body that God provided you with. Just do it for you. I kept showing up. I kept showing up for myself. And then on top of that, I would pray that God would continue to give me the endurance and the mental capacity to keep showing up for myself. So that was the little extra boost that I needed as well. And then I started to really research the fitness industry and how to eat properly. Once I started eating properly and kind of training my gut to be healthy as well, it also boosted my emotional levels as well. So I started getting happier. I kept myself busy all the way through the deployment, so it kind of went through like a breeze. I made new fitness friends. It was just a whole life-changing experience, and it's almost like a hobby. Like, I became so infatuated with the fitness life that I don't know, I don't think that I'm ever gonna give it up. I found out so many things, and once it's such a huge confident boost to be so confident in not your looks per se. I started to become so confident in my strength and being able to push myself past limits and push myself harder than I ever did before, and competing with not the people around me, but the person that I was before and the person that I am today in the gym. Having that mentality of like, I'm gonna go to the gym today and I'm going to outlift myself or outdo what I did yesterday is such a motivational boost to get through and reach your goals. I can't even explain it, and you won't know until you actually put yourself in the position of doing it. If you're struggling with just finding that little push to actually go to the gym, number one, nobody is focused on you. Literally, either nobody cares and they're not focused on what you're doing, or they're either watching you to see what you're doing to see if they can get any pointers from you, which happens a lot, especially when you become more educated in fitness. People are just watching to see if they can gain some tips from you. And then another thing that I noticed, a lot of the bigger influencer types, or people that you could tell have been there for a while, sometimes they'll watch around to make sure that nobody hurts themselves. I've been to gyms where like there's a lot of like bigger and more tenured fitness people in there that will actually watch what you do just to make sure that you aren't just to make sure your form is correct and to make sure that you're not overdoing it so you don't get hurt. And that sometimes people are just looking at you to see when you're getting off the equipment, okay? Nobody is focused on you in terms of like judging you. They either care about you, or there are some people that are rude, don't get me wrong, but who cares? Who cares? You're gonna sit there and let one person or a few that are negative and nasty on the inside judge you because of how you look on the outside. You're gonna let that person dictate what you do with your life and allow them to control what you do. And no, you're not. Don't. What? The math ain't mathin'. They don't even matter. Who cares? Who cares? Don't allow those emotions and the insecurity to keep you from being your best self. It's a waste of time. Do what you want to do. Go to the gym, learn something, be the better you. If you're wanting to get into the fitness world, just do it. Just go. Literally, Nike it. Be like Nike, just do it. Another thing, don't be afraid to ask for tips, ask for help, ask for advice. What's the harm in messaging someone and just reaching out? Who knows, you can get a new friend, for one. Two, you will never know unless you ask, right? You could do the research and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes, I will admit it, sometimes you have to know from personal experience. And sometimes things work for other people and they won't work for you. Don't be discouraged by failure. Give it a good amount of time to test things out before you give up on it, okay? If it doesn't work out for you, do not be discouraged, because literally everybody's bodies and everybody's minds and everybody's emotions are different. That doesn't mean that you should give up on your fitness journey because it just didn't work out for you. That means you need to come up with a new plan. You need to implement that plan the best way that you can, be consistent with it, see if that works for you. If not, try again. Do not become obsessed with macros and your eating habits. That, and this may be a trigger warning for somebody, I don't know, but I went down my ugly nail. I went down a very bad path of, while Julian was gone, it was the first part of my transition into becoming fit. I downloaded MyFitnessPal and I started tracking my macros and stuff like that. I became obsessed with it to the point of having an eating disorder. It was literally impacting every part of my day, that I was so focused and centered on what I could and could not eat that I was becoming very unhappy. So I went from one extreme of eating really, really crappy to another extreme of not being able to properly track what I was eating. I didn't understand this. Basically leaning into the cravings that you were having every now and then to kind of level out what it was that you were feeling. And so it just became too extreme for me, and I developed like an eating disorder from it. I drastically lost a lot of weight in a short period of time because I wasn't eating properly, and it impacted my mental health heavily. And then on top of that, I became obsessed with foods to the point of sometimes just not giving my body what it needed, if that makes sense. I won't go too deep into it, but so don't become obsessed with your macros. Yes, you could track them. Yes, you can kind of follow, if you know how to train your body in that way properly and in a healthy manner, then yes, by all means do that, but do not obsess over it, because it could be a very, very quick way of developing an eating disorder. Not to scare anybody out there, but just bringing awareness to it, because it did happen to me and I didn't realize it was happening to me until a couple months later, when I just became very unhappy with foods. And I was literally getting to the point where food was making me sick to my stomach. And it was like I would go to eat something, and if it was even slightly outside of like my scope, I would just get sick to myself. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I really don't want to talk about that. But just don't obsess over it. That's all I'm saying. And the last thing that I'm gonna mention about this is to be kind to yourself. There are going to be times when your body fluctuates based on the season that you're in. So there may be times where you start bulking because you're going heavier with the weights. There may be times when you start to shred out. It may be because of the foods that you're eating along with the routine or the workout plan that you have. That's why I'm saying do your research to see what's going to be the best combination for your body, because sometimes the foods that you eat and the type of weightlifting that you're doing, the type of cardio that you're doing may stagger and cause you to become different types, different levels of body fat, body muscle, all that kind of stuff. Everything is an impact, okay? So be kind to yourself if your body fluctuates. It is okay. It's all right. Who cares? There are going to be seasons where you're a little bit chunkier. Who cares? You know, just continue to be consistent in your workout plan. Alter up your foods, alter up your cardio, and boom, there you go. Different body type. It happens. I have gone from being super chubby and to like very slim waist, thick thighs, and then there are times where I've got strong obliques, so I start to get wider on the sides, and sometimes you'll be doing like arm workouts and all of a sudden you got these big traps. It happens, you know. You, like they say, you can't sit there and focus on one body part and expect the fat to burn in that exact spot that you're working out. It doesn't work that way. You're gonna grow muscles in areas that you didn't know were even there. You're gonna have fat be exposed in certain areas that you didn't even know was there. You're gonna see transitions in your body that you didn't understand before. It happens. That's a part of the journey. So be kind to yourself. Understand that you're gonna witness and see changes throughout this journey that you didn't expect, and learn to love it. Learn to love your body. Your body does a lot of things for you. It feeds you, it grows knowledge, it carries you from one place to another. It does so much for you. So take care of it. Learn to appreciate it. It's the only one you have. We are all perfect to Him. We were all created with intention. We are all created unique to the way that He envisioned us. If God says that you are perfect the way that you are, learn to love what He created with love. Love what He loved, or love what He loves. And that's you. So there's nothing really else to it other than just keep showing up for yourself. That's really the whole gist of it. That's why I do it to this day. I know how much it has impacted my mental health, and that is why I consistently go. It's not even for the fitness aspect of like how I look anymore. I don't go for how I look. I like to look good, because look good, feel good, you know what I mean? It's more so because it allows me to relieve some of the stress that I have up here. It allows me to focus. It allows me to sit down and think about all the things that I need to get done. It allows me to burn out. It allows me to throw out all my energy and just put it in and invest all of that into myself. There's so many benefits to actually allowing yourself to be fit. Yeah, that's why I consistently go, and that's basically the transition that I went through and the ups and downs that I faced from the beginning to the end. I was a very fit person growing up. I've always been a very athletic person with volleyball, soccer, karate, dance, all that kind of, I did all kinds of sports. I was in like a lot of kickball tournaments growing up. I was always trying to be in sports, and then all of a sudden I stopped in my adult years and I suffered very badly with my mental health. So it feels so good to be back into it and just investing time and love and care into myself. So I encourage you today, if you haven't, or if you're planning on it, get out there, go to a gym, go do something, some kind of hobby, some kind of fitness, and just take care of your body. Go for a walk, enjoy nature, be alone with God, just take a run, something. And really just give yourself the love kind, the TLC that it needs. But all right, y'all, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. If you love some of these TED Talks, feel free to comment any kind of questions that you have for me. I know I've been talking a lot recently. I think I'm gonna do a video next of like some kind of makeup video or fashion. I'm not really sure. I want to do something different for sure, but I just wanted to talk today and kind of address the one question that I had that I really wanted to talk about that didn't fit in my last video. So subscribe, please. Go follow my social media accounts. Give this a thumbs up. Turn on your notifications so you get all of my future videos. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.